Hi, this is Kate from Generate Magic. So sometimes we hold back on experiencing that joy, that freedom that we're really craving. Like we want to experience it, but there's something internally that's stopping us. It's almost like there's something that's putting on the brakes. And a lot of times we're not even exactly sure why. And it could be something from the past, like a childhood memory, but there's some sort of reason that we're holding back on experiencing our joy and experiencing just that excitement for life more fully. And believe it or not, there was a King of the Hill episode I saw recently that actually illustrated this concept really well. And so in the episode, Hank Hill, he gets this big award. It's actually his friends that nominate him for the honor. And so he gets to carry the Olympic torch. But he doesn't want to do it. And so his son, Bobby, is like, telling him, well, why not, Dad? This is a huge honor. And Hank is saying, no, I don't want to do it. And so then the friends are essentially holding a party for Hank in honor of him getting this big award. And they're showing clips of, so Hank was this big football star back in high school. And so they're showing clips of Hank's football game on this big projector, and he helped take his team to the state championship. And so Hank gets very uncomfortable when they start playing this clip of the football game, and he makes them turn it off before they get to the end. And later he reveals to Bobby that the reason he didn't want him seeing the end was because he made this big touchdown, and so then he was getting very excited about it, and he was dancing, and he was kind of showboating, just like we see professional athletes doing, right? Just dancing around and really kind of like getting into it and getting into the excitement of it. And then almost immediately afterwards, he twists his ankle, and as a result, the team loses, and they end up losing the state championship. And so in his mind, Hank made this connection that because he was being prideful and kind of showboating and I guess being sort of egotistical, then that's what caused him to twist his ankle, and then that's what caused him to lose the state championship for the team. And so then Bobby says, oh, well, is that why, he tells his dad, is that why you're always kind of uptight and, always serious and never really getting excited about anything? And so Bobby actually makes this very insightful observation. And Hank realizes that, yeah, that it's true, that he didn't even realize he was doing it, but he was essentially putting the brakes on his happiness, not really allowing himself to feel the thrill of victory. And so yeah, I think there's two components to it, right? And so sometimes we feel that we're not deserving of whatever it is that we desire. We're not deserving of the love or the success that we desire. And sometimes it can even manifest like as health conditions, right? And it's this feeling inside of us that deep down we're a bad person, or that there's something inside of us, right, that's not deserving of having everything that we want. And so there's a little bit of this is kind of showed in the episode, right? So Hank believes that because he was acting prideful, he feels very ashamed of that, and he feels that he's not deserving of having future success. And I can definitely kind of relate to this, right? The deservedness. And I actually have memories of things that I said to classmates when I was in elementary school, and for years, well, not immediately afterwards, but when I got to be like older and more reflective, kind of thinking back on it and thinking, that was a really thoughtless thing to say, or that was a really rude thing to say. And the other person might not have even been upset by the comment, but it was just me kind of thinking, I should have been more thoughtful when I said that. And these were even things that I said like in, kindergarten, first grade. and so I realized that I was really kind of punishing myself, internally, not like on a conscious, aware level. And so, yeah, so to release that, it's really just recognizing that we're always growing, we're always expanding, we're always learning, and every now moment is a clean slate, which I said before, right? And so not only is every now moment the opportunity to forgive others, but it's also the opportunity to forgive yourself, right? And this is talking about forgiveness at a deeper level. And so not forgiveness in the sense that you necessarily did anything wrong, but forgiveness, as A Course in Miracle talks about, like getting in touch with your divine perfection, right? And using and recognizing that each moment is an opportunity to be the person that you want to be, right? To be more caring, to be more loving and generous and compassionate. And yeah, so just recognizing that. And so that's the part I wanted to share about feeling deserving. And then also the part about putting the brakes on our joy and our excitement and just feeling that enthusiasm, right? And so sometimes it can be kind of triggered by something in our childhood. And for me, I have a specific, this is just kind of a small, like, trivial thing, but I have this memory of when I was in middle school, and I was always, when I was a kid, I was pretty shy and withdrawn. Not very expressive. But when it was time to go to bed and I would be laying in my bed, I would be listening to my Walkman or the Discman, and I would be listening to some CDs on my headphones, and that was my time that I could really kind of like just get into my emotions, right? And just feel more of what I wanted to express when I was around people but couldn't. And so I was listening to this band that I really liked when I was in middle school, Third Eye Blind. And I just remember something got into me and I was just really like getting into it. I was singing, and then all of a sudden my dad comes into my room and he's like, "Shut up," like really loud. Because I had my headphones on, so I didn't realize like how loudly I was singing. And so like at the time, my parents, their bedroom was like right next to my bedroom. So here they were. It was probably like around midnight, and they had to be up early the next morning too. and I probably sounded horrible and out of tune. And so, but I felt so like embarrassed by it. I was like, oh no. And so I think there was something that kind of triggered me to kind of like put like the brakes on my excitement and really kind of like, yeah, just kind of feeling into music, really singing and getting into it. And I still don't, singing is still something that I'm kind of working with. It's maybe around a few close people. And if the music's really loud, so I can't really hear my voice very well. But more and more, once I kind of had that awareness, right, it allowed me to recognize, okay, well, it's not, there really wasn't any, there's not any reason. Obviously at the time there was a reason when it's midnight and you're a kid and your parents are trying to get to sleep and you have to be up early the next morning too. There's obviously a reason in that situation that you might want to put the brakes on it a little bit and hold back a little bit and keep it inside. But there's no reason that you have to put the brakes on your joy and your excitement and your enthusiasm moving forward. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. And kind of on a meta level, I always try to, in everything, right, I try to, even if it's just something I'm watching for entertainment, like King of the Hill, I always kind of try to look for the insights in it that I can really connect to myself, and that I can really use it as an opportunity to grow and to expand from. And King of the Hill really is a good show. Like almost every episode has like a good lesson in it. It's kind of like I would say like the nicer sibling of Beavis and Butthead, which was also created by the same creator, Mike Judge. And so I like that show too when I was a kid. But yeah, I think King of the Hill, it really kind of has like a soul and it has a heart to it. But yeah, but that's what I want to share with you today is if you are, yeah, ask yourself like if you're putting the brakes on your joy and your excitement, and if so, then you don't even necessarily, I mean, you can kind of go back and look back at a childhood memory like I did in my case, but you could even just say, okay, well, there's no reason to keep putting the brakes on it moving forward. And so, yeah, so I would encourage you just to do anything that kind of helps you feel more fully into that feeling. And to me, it's like what I talked about recently. So music helps to open up those feelings for me, you know, walking in nature. Even, I know it sounds silly, but there's something about like going to the grocery store and just seeing like all the selections in the grocery store and all the variety, and most of the time they're playing like really good 80s music. And I don't know, I just really like get into it. But yeah, just to look for these opportunities in your everyday life. And so with that, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.